This is Carlos Marino. He is credited with creating the idea of the 15-minute city. Through his talks online and in person, Marino describes the 15-minute city as encompassing three basic principles. 1. Build cities around people, not cars. 2. Every square meter should have multiple uses. 3. Neighborhoods are for living, working, and playing. So what does this look like in the real world? Building cities for people would mean prioritizing public transportation, bike infrastructure, and pedestrian walkways over highways and parking lots. It would also mean creating mixed-use spaces, combining housing, offices, public spaces, healthcare facilities, parks, and cultural centers, all within walking or cycling distance. Overall, this design reduces the need for long commutes and creates more opportunities for people to interact with each other in their local community. Some speculate this idea of living in the neighborhood where you work would require you to relocate every time you switch jobs, but this just isn't the case. Instead, the walkable city would be more than capable of handling your daily commute, while reducing the driving you need to do while not commuting. Picture this scenario. After a tiring day at work, you face a 30-minute commute home. Along the way, you take a 25-minute detour to pick up your kids from school, and then spend an extra hour and a half driving to, shopping at, and driving home from the grocery store. When you finally reach home, you still have to cook, eat, and clean, leaving hardly any time to genuinely relax or connect with your loved ones. Your children have merely tagged along with this exhausting journey, confined to the car's back seat and trailing you in the grocery store. Now, imagine living in a walkable neighborhood. You still have your 30-minute commute home, but your kids can safely walk home from school with friends who live nearby. Since the grocery store is only 4 minutes away, you don't need to stock up or have a large grocery trip as you normally would in a non-walkable neighborhood. You can easily walk there or stop by on your way home and quickly grab what you need for dinner. Once you're home, you cook, eat, and clean as usual, but you gain 2 extra hours to spend connecting with loved ones outside in the community park or just relaxing at home. This is the idea of a walkable city in practice. It's not about confining someone to a district or forcing someone to move whenever they have a new job opportunity. It's about connecting the things we need, want, and enjoy to where we live. These straightforward ideas can be easily incorporated into urban and suburban neighborhoods by zoning commercial spaces within walking distance, improving path networks, reducing road size, and providing underground car parking where possible. We can easily start to see how the freedom of walking or cycling start to become a reality. Although these ideas may seem radical, especially for a society that has become increasingly more reliant on cars over time, they are not new. Before the invention of the car, streets were designed for people and commerce rather than solely for vehicles. One of the first cities in our modern world to put the 15-minute city to the test is Paris, France. They have taken several steps to make the city more walkable and bike-friendly, including creating more pedestrian-only areas, reducing car traffic, and increasing bike lanes. They have also made an effort to make local services and amenities more accessible, including adding more green spaces and community gardens, creating pop-up markets, and improving public transportation. Additionally, they've implemented measures to reduce pollution, such as banning diesel cars and promoting electric vehicles. These initiatives aim to reduce the need for cars and make it easier for residents to access the things they need within a 15-minute walk or bike ride from their homes. The concept of a 15-minute city aims to revive a more human-centric lifestyle that has been pushed aside by modern urban planning since the invention and dominance of cars, rather than creating something entirely new. These plans do not require the complete ban on cars to be effective. The concept of the 15-minute city aims to tackle traffic congestion by making local services and amenities easily accessible by walking, cycling, or public transit. This, in turn, reduces people's reliance on cars and ultimately decreases traffic for those who still need to drive for commuting or travel purposes. Because the grocery store is so far away and requires a commute, you're more likely to stock up on basic necessities, which requires a larger fridge and more storage. This, in turn, increases the amount of food waste when items inevitably go bad. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy where your reliance on the car generates your need to rely on a car. I used to live near a grocery store that was across the street from my apartment. When I lived there, I had very little in my fridge and often nothing in my cupboards. This wasn't a negative though. Since the store was only 2 minutes away, I waited until I needed things, bought only what I needed, and then returned home. This reduced my food waste to near zero and even reduced the number of trash bags that I used. I didn't need to stock up on things or plan out a large grocery trips in advance, making me more flexible in my social interactions. When I was invited to go out for dinner, I didn't have to worry about those apples in my fridge that are about to go bad. Overall, I spent less money and time than I ever had on food and groceries, as I planned out what I was having for dinner around what was on sale that day. The 15-minute city concept is not a sinister government conspiracy or an attempt to control our lives, but rather a return to the principles of human-centric urban planning that has been overshadowed by the dominance of the car. By creating walkable neighborhoods and reducing our reliance on cars for daily tasks, we can improve our overall quality of life, foster stronger communities, reduce traffic congestion, and pollution. This concept aims to enhance our sense of freedom, autonomy, and well-being we experience in our cities, while still preserving the option to drive when needed. Adopting the 15-minute city model does not mean giving up our love for the open road or our cherished road trips, but rather embracing a more sustainable, healthy, and interconnected way of living that benefits both ourselves and future generations. Making our cities extensions of our homes means we can have better access to the things that matter to us most, whether it's our favorite park, our local farmers market, or our children's school. It means that we can spend more time with our families and friends and less time stuck in traffic. It means we can live healthier and feel more connected to our communities. The 15-minute city is not just a buzzword. It's a vision for the future of urban living